Hello. Today we're going to be talking to Rich from PLUSnxt. Rich, thank you for coming and being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brian.
Sure. So we're at ILTACon. Anything good you've seen so far?
It's been more of a social event, reunions, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I come here a lot of times just for the camaraderie and getting meetings that I don't necessarily get throughout other parts of the year.
Okay. So, Rich, I always like to ask, how did you get into eDiscovery? And what second part of that question is what keeps you in it?
Yeah, so an interesting way I got in was because I was referred to a lit support company as a salesperson. I was selling office supplies to a lit support company, paper-based back in those days, scanning and imaging some.
Okay.
And they said, "Hey, we hear you're a good salesperson," or something along those lines, and you could probably make more money than you're making in office products or something along those lines. And so I decided to give it a shot and have been in some form of it ever since into eDiscovery. And the thing that keeps me in it is the change and the improvements seen, and it's constantly in transition, which is exciting. And I've been more on on this technology side of things, software specific. So I've been with a few of the software companies in the industry, and yeah, I mean everything now is now matured into machine learning and now generative AI, and so that keeps it interesting to me because I was always really interested in document and data management as my career evolved. That was sort of became my focus, was the management of large amounts of data.
Okay. From a standpoint of, your work with your clients, what do you help your clients with? What's your kind of like expertise of how you help them?
Yeah, I would say because of my experience in the industry, I can help them along with my PMs or other resources just find what the best approach to the particular project is,
Okay.
whether there's a collection piece or not. How are we going to, hit certain deadlines? So we always ask, or I always like to ask about deadlines that are already imminent or known. And then I think my clients really have a trust factor with me that when they need me, I'm there for them. I'm going to resolve issues as quickly as possible. And if I can't resolve them, I will go to my resources, which at PLUSnxt have been fantastic for me to lean on.
Great. So I think from a standpoint, I've heard it said a couple times during the conference, it's not the technology, it's the people. Can you expound on that?
Yeah. I mean, I've been down, the road, so to speak, or I've been with many companies, and it does vary with the quality, I would say, of employees. And I find at Plus, and I don't just say it because that's where I am now, but the tenure, the knowledge, and the response times for me have exceeded even my expectations, which were high expectations. So I would put a lot on that, you know, the people versus technology. With that, I mean, I really love the fact that we're a REL one shop, and I say
Sure.
that wholeheartedly because I've, as I mentioned previously, been with a lot of the software companies in the industry. Um,
What benefits do you see that brings being a REL one focused company?
yeah, for me, having sold to both corporate and law firms, corporate law departments and law firms, I love the fact that I can provide a holistic kind of e-discovery left and right part of the EDRM, where I can help them with collection, help them with legal hold, and then everything sort of in between to trial. And even for a law firm, I mean, being able to say that to a law firm, hey, if your client needs help with collection, you can do that with REL one. You don't have to use a forensic examiner or an external source. Sometimes you might, but this is a great way of collecting. So I find that, most software companies were always looking for that holistic approach and really never conquered that. And I think Relativity was really the first to do that.
Right. I agree with you. I think from a standpoint of being able to innovate and they have their feedback loop where with a client base they've developed over, more than a decade now, it really allows them to, I think, develop faster. And they've already started layering in AI, not just in one part of the EDRM, but, looking at review and then the case strategies, AI for case strategies. I think it's a great platform for handling your work.
Yeah, I concur, and I say also the use of generative AI within case strategy specific to the part of relativity that allows you to do timelines and outlines. That may be underused in my opinion, because I think, I've been exposed to having a product specifically for case management, and having, the ability to do case management within relativity one is excellent, that I try to get my customers interested in. And now with having a generative AI component to that and using it for case strategy and getting ready for depots or trials was really, I think, helpful to the client.
Yeah, I think right now, I saw a posting that I was working with a colleague on. It was interesting where we kind of agreed that the change right now with AI being not a analytical tool or identification tool like clustering or tar or cal or image identification, but really a substantive tool has really put us on an inflection point that's as seismic as like before the internet and after the internet, I think, and we see it across our culture. How do you think, from now until a couple of years from now, is going to change legal services that you've been working in for a while?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exponential in a way in terms of doc review, but also the ability to have sort of a chat bot, and during the course of getting your review done, you can ask the chatbot to help in certain ways. That's sort of still in development, I know, within Rel 1, but I think that's probably going to be one of the things that matures and gets used more often. Um, I just feel like it's going to not necessarily eliminate jobs, but I think it's going to um, help people develop the different strengths in their own parts of their job, whether they're a reviewer or a partner. Just being able to try to get the AI to adapt or to help them in the manner that is going to help the case and help make the case the document review go quicker and more efficiently.
Recently, we had a luncheon where one of our corporate clients, was talking about how that they, for their outside counsel, require discussions of how in their RFPs how law firms are going to use AI. We also discussed law firms, adopting AI because of the fear of missing out. Can you discuss both and what you think drives the AI adoption more right now? Is it the fear of not keeping up with other people, or is it because they're getting pressure from their clients, or is it some mix of that?
I think it's a mix. I think there are genuinely attorneys and legal staff that are interested in leveraging it, but a little bit of a fear factor in that I think sometimes in terms of the early days of machine learning, where it was almost like a black box. You weren't sure necessarily if you were going to get the results, or you might be missing something.
Right.
So if people use machine learning, they would typically maybe use it for QC versus the actual final product, getting to the right documents. Now, there's this, I think, many years of acceptance of machine learning, but people, I think, are adapting more to the use of AI because they're using it in more impractical daily life. And it's not so much a black box because they're explaining, what they're looking for, and they're able to adapt that, that engineering, for the prompts on the fly, and come up with sort of the best results and find the documents they're looking for.
Right. I think, if you're going to say it, I think at Ilticon here, AI is the it technology of the show.
Yeah.
And I think it will be for a while. Anything else you want to say, Rich?
Not really. I think we've positioned ourselves as a company to swing for the fences with AI, with the products that are made or put in our disposal, and I think we've done a great job with that so far. And I think though we're adaptive, like we will learn and work with our firms to like whatever comfort level they're willing to go down the road of AI or stick more with the machine learning model. I think here at ILTED, as well as other events I've been to, like I agree, like AI is probably going to stick around as the talking point. And who knows what the next big thing is, but it's hard to say or hard to imagine something sort of be above and beyond, except more of the same.
Sure. Well, Rich, thanks for your time today. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you.